So in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I am reading chat, so if anyone has any questions, you can ask me. So this is Legacy percent. This category has its history from the days of SDA back in starting in like 2006 when this game was really run. So it features a no save and quit rule set, a no out of bounds rule set, and no wrong warp rule set. In addition, it's also deathless. So, thanks, Hawkrex. What does that mean? So no save and quit. That's pretty obvious. I won't be saving and quitting the game ever. I'll bring up the save and quit menu quite a few times, but I won't actually save and quit out of the game. No out of bounds. That has a strange definition. It's kind of like you're not allowed to walk on ceilings, and you're not allowed to make any unintended screen transitions. No wrong warp. That's also kind of in the name, so you kind of how to say this? Any door you take must take you to its intended target. And since this is Legacy, there's also a few glitch restrictions. So Villa Skip is out, so we're gonna see the Canalot Castle, Canalay Castle. No water jumping. What else is there? I forget them all. No final boss skip. Just give me a second to match through all this text. Probably a couple others. I'll remember them as I go. Big thing in this category is that it's deathless. So I'm gonna try my best to make sure that lives up to his name. And here we go. We got the sword. We skipped the owl. That's a it's like a 1 second time save. Don't know really what else to say right now, so I'm making my way to the mysterious woods. I'm also keeping an eye on how many enemies I killed because I need to manipulate for a piece of run on the US version. You can use the Japanese version, you can use the German version if you really wanted to. But US version loses about 3 to 4 minutes through text. But I think just for the fact it's a Legacy run, we should be running on the US version. So up ahead we have a whoops, snuck in there. We have a pretty big sequence break in the beginning of the game. So you notice I bring up the save and quit menu every time I open a chest. Evidently we have a slight hitch. Anyone would like to explain to me what's going on, and if I need to start over, or... Meanwhile, we had to get the magic powder. Because we did a sequence break, normally we're supposed to get the powder from the witch, sprinkle it on a raccoon, and then we can make our way through the forest, but we did a sequence break, so we don't need to do that. But we do need to have the powder for the run. Alright, we're not starting over, that's great. And since this is Legacy percent, or just Legacy, I tend to add the word percent after it, we have to do the trading sequence, or at least the first few items of it. So we need the Yoshi doll. Alright, well, it's kind of hard to explain the sequence break that just happened, but we did a damage boost across the gap, which allowed us to skip a few minutes of the game. Yeah, unfortunately, it's kind of hard to explain way after the fact. But we can continue on. So now we're still going on with the trading sequence here. So we need to trade the Yoshi doll for the bow. We have to do one more trading sequence for this beginning segment. Trade the bow for the dog food. Oops, pushing B there instead of A. So right now I'm still trying to keep track of how many enemies I have killed so far. I think I've killed 5. Oh, I did not want to take that damage. Oops. And if you walk into this, you don't actually have to... If you walk into it and push forward, or face forward, you can insert the key without actually having to face front, or go to the keyhole itself. So that saves about like half a second. So again, I'm bringing up the save and quit menu to cancel out that text that says you just picked up a small key. It's especially bad in the US version. So we took quite a bit of damage here. Having 1 heart is definitely much less than optimal at this point in the game. So we need to flip these guys over with our shield. They're kind of RNG, kind of not. We're making our way to get the Rock's Feather, which is probably the best item of the entire game. So, Rock's Feather allows us to jump. And you'll see that I'll be jumping diagonally a lot. That's because when you walk diagonally, you get a movement penalty. However, when you jump diagonally, your movement stays at max speed. So I'll be trying to jump wherever I can until I get the boots. Then that'll change some of my movement tech. So now we have a mini-boss coming up, which for every other category we have the bow. This guy I had to fight with my sword, and he's kind of annoying. I didn't one-cycle him. That's okay. I'm gonna take the ferry just because it's a marathon run. Wouldn't normally. And then we have Moldorm, which is a really annoying boss. It's kind of a trick to him. You can jump over him and swing at his tail. In 4 hits and he's down. And we just completed Dungeon 1. More diagonal jumping here. Then we have another owl cutscene, which these take so long in the US version. But now we know what's happening in the game, right? So we have to continue on with the trading sequence in the game. I actually like this cutscene. He's hysterical, what do you do? So we trade the dog food for some bananas. And then we're gonna make our way to Dungeon 2. But before that, we have to get Bow Wow. Oops. Those guys have strange hitboxes. No excuse to walk right into them, but either way. I'm still trying to keep track of how many enemies I've killed. So this cutscene is horrible. In the Japanese version, you can skip it all by pushing the B button. In the US version, you have to go through the entire cutscene. So it's about a 17-second time difference right there. So I was at 5, I skipped 3 kills, got 2 in Dungeon 1, so we're at 3 minus 2 right now, and we'll minus 2 again to be at minus 1, which is exactly where I'd want to be. Again, we gotta monitor these enemy kills, because piece of power drops, which we'll see in Dungeon 2 hopefully. If you get them all right, it saves about a minute and a half on the entire run. We have a simple boss right here. We just face the opposite him. He charges into the wall, spin, give him a few slashes, and we rinse and repeat. And he's down. And now we have Bow Wow. So you notice here I'm skipping this heart piece because it doesn't actually help us. And if you pick it up, it's known as the heart piece of shame. So now I'm trying to get as many enemy kills. I'm trying to get the right number of enemy kills. If you pick up that heart piece, it loses about 4 or 5 seconds. If I kind of walk in between those two sprites, I can walk right through. I forgot, this is Legacy, so I need this. My apologies, everyone. So now we have to wait for Bow Wow to eat something here, and he ate something really fast for us, so that's good. And if I did my counting right, piece of power should drop in the next room, or the room after that. Okay, so it's going to be in the next room. And we'll see that thing I've been talking about the entire run. There it is. We pause to cancel that text. Now our damage is increased, but more importantly our movement speed is increased. And it makes fighting this boss a lot easier too. See, he gets knocked back. So 4 hits and he's down. You notice I'm putting items in very strange spots in my menu, because menu optimization is actually a very important part of the speedrun. and when you know a lot of routes, it's hard to keep your items in the same spots. So it's hard to keep all the different item routes separate in your mind. In this room, you have to kill enemies in a specific order, or else the chest won't spawn. So I actually put these items in strange spots because it keeps my item menu constant between, at least for the first half, between 100% no save and quit and this category. Let me do a small sequence break right there. So there's a quick kill for this boss. Normally he shoots 8 fireballs at you, you have to throw the genie's bottle against the wall, and he does that. You have to do that for a total of 3 times. However, if you kind of walk in between, like kind of in the wall, it's called clipping, you can break the genie's bottle instantly. So you don't need to do that whole recycle hullabaloo. I didn't need to pause there. Old habits die hard. And his bottle's broken. Oops. Oops. Spawned right on top of me. And where he spawns is random. As far as I can tell. And then we have instrument 2. So we have to go back inside the dungeon because we need more rupees so we can buy the shovel. We need 200 rupees to buy the shovel here. If you pause while entering a dungeon, you actually cancel the text. There's that instance of wall clipping again to get between the 2 sprites. And we need one more chest to buy the shovel, which is right over here. And now we have enough rupees. We also need to buy bombs too. We do that just so we can steal the bow. Because we need the bow to complete the run, and the bow is very expensive. Oops, I was holding down there. And stealing is actually a mechanic in the game that was that's intended. So now our name is actually changed to Thief. And if I go into the shop again, the shopkeeper will kill me. Go back inside the shop. Yep. So Legacy is basically Link's Awakening DX's version of no major glitches. So we use the route that people used to run back in 2010 and before. So that means how it differs from the other routes is that there's no villa skip. So I'm actually going to be going through the castle right now. Normally we skip this entire section, this whole 8-minute segment here, because we can we found a way to kind of clip through bushes. In addition, we have to fight the final boss, which is something we skip in all the other categories. No save and quit, no out of bounds, and no wrong warp. Oops. So this is actually a unique section of the game, or for the speedrun. Don't know how to jump, apparently. Because this is the only category you see this little area in. That's not how we do that. Well, that was slightly embarrassing. My keyboard's messing up on me. Oh yeah, and it's deathless. I always forget to mention that. In theory, it's deathless. We're kind of running low on health right now, as it is. And we can get screwed over by RNG right here. Because the enemies can still move during this cutscene, but I can't. Let's see. So we have to collect these 5 golden leaves so we can show them to Richard, who will allow us to get into his villa. And when we get inside his villa, we can get the Dungeon 3 key. So I got the spare heart, the shame. Some invincibility spray. Actually, if you look in the game's code, the shop was actually supposed to sell acorns, but they never actually implemented that in the final cut of the game. So we're gonna get the last golden leaf, which is really annoying because you need to throw the rocks at the enemy. That's the only way he gets off the tree. And that's the only way you can really kill him effectively. Whoops. As soon as we get into Dungeon 3, we get into very familiar territory for me. The first half of this run's a little brutal because it's completely different than what I'm used to running. I haven't run Legacy in a few weeks now. Then we get a super long cutscene with Richard. They actually dramatically reduced it in further versions because this game comes in 1.0, 1.1, and 1.2. But we have to play on 1.1. Okay. Got the menu correct. We need some extra hearts right now. So now we have the key, now we can enter Dungeon 3. So in all other categories, we can actually skip this whole sequence and just land inside the villa and get the key. But they didn't do that in 2010, so we had to do it this way. So again, we're going to use that glitch where we can insert the key from the wrong area if we face up. Now we're in Dungeon 3. And we missed the first equip of Dungeon 3. So each time you open up the menu, it takes about 2 seconds. So menu optimization is very important. If you're wasting time in your menu, you're wasting a massive amount of time in your run. Oh wow, we're gonna get a really good POP drop. POP stands for Piece of Power, which is that item right there. So this is the Dodongo snake fight. If you kill one and then leave the room, the game counts it as being completely cleared. So now we have the boots, which is probably the biggest part of the speedrun. Boots are probably the... Link's Awakening boots are probably the best boots in the entire Zelda series, because you can move while you charge them. Which means you'll see me charge and run around a corner a lot, like you just saw right there. And it really allows for some interesting movement optimization. I don't think I need bombs in this category. Some more diagonal jumping to save 1 frame each time. Here's a very small skip. You could just jump underneath the swamp. Normally you have to bonk into him. Saves about 1/4 of a second. Just picking up some extra hearts just in case for marathon safety. This is Vitreous. He's kind of annoying. But he gave us good RNG, and we killed him. Oh cool, we're back. For anyone just tuning in, you're watching SS4C, Speedruns for Charity, or Speed Stuff for Charity, excuse me. We're a speedrunning marathon raising money for Doctors Without Borders. Doctors Without Borders is a charity organization that provides medical aid and humanitarian relief around the world to countries who need it. If you like what you see, make sure to donate. We have a bid war coming up for Link's Awakening DX 100%, choosing what tunic we have. As well as a few other things, I'm not too sure. And I'm running Link's Awakening DX Legacy right now, which is no save and quit, no out of bounds, no wrong warp, deathless, no villa skip, no water jumps, no fun. So we have to trade the largely intended percent. So we have to trade the honeycomb for the pineapple, only so it sets a flag so we can get Marin in a few seconds. And we have to sit through this giant cutscene. So now we're in the Dream Shrine, or we will be in a second, which is a place where it's very easy to die, because these guys can hit you for 3 hearts. But it looks like I got through it. Damageless. Usually helps if I equip the bracelet right there. That's okay. So now we go down to the beach and meet Marin. Well, it's people's most favorite part of the game. Most favorite. Usually people's favorite part of the game. It's a nice, cute little cutscene. I actually have not ever read this cutscene, so I have no idea what they say. I've been speedrunning this game for 2 years. Now that we have Marin, we can continue on with the speedrun. Again, trying to maximize or optimize movement by dashing and jumping diagonally whenever possible. Might take damage here. Yep. That's okay. We have another cutscene. If anyone's ever looking to get into a Zelda speedrun, I'd actually recommend Link's Awakening DX. I think I was going through the catalog of Zelda speedruns, looking at each category, or each game in their main categories. I'm pretty sure LADX is the easiest out of all of them. And we have a lot of good resources out on how to run the game and do the main categories. So, you know, anyone who wants to pick up this game, I recommend it. Wink. So now we have a boss quick kill right here. The boss's hitbox is still present before he jumps out. So if we just shoot 2 arrows, we're good. So we got the Dungeon 4 key, which we will use to unlock Dungeon 4 in about a minute. I jump diagonally because when you walk diagonally, you get a movement penalty. So you move at 75% of your normal movement speed. But when you jump, your movement is not affected, so you move at 100%. So effectively, when you jump diagonally, you move faster. Another one of people's favorite cutscenes. So we need this for the very end of the game. Literally only to unlock the final boss. Now we make our way to Dungeon 4. And in Legacy, I'm very behind on kills, so I'm gonna have to kill as many things as possible between here and the entrance of Dungeon 4 to manipulate my piece of power drop. So there's that funky movement optimization there with charging the boots properly. Again, we're just trying to kill as many things as possible. Oops. You can walk in between him and the tree sprite, but didn't quite make it through. So, oh, I didn't get him walking between both of them, but there's a reason why I tried. So we got a bunch of kills. I can go for a couple more. That kill is called the Seabass swag kill right there, with the green slime. Just killing yourself does not count. If you actually die, your piece of power count gets reset back to 0, and it's a big time loss. For not only for the fact you're dying, but also for the fact you lose your piece of power abilities. So water also gives you a movement penalty, so I'll be jumping. I jump through water whenever I can, and we needed those bonds for later on in the run. So I'm going to try to do a hard trick here. Didn't quite work. Still going to go for it. That's okay. That trick is finicky. It's all skill though. So Dungeon 4 is interesting because we do half of it now and then the other half later. And I'll explain that in just a second. Nice, simple mini-boss quick kill. Another fairy for safety. So now we're done with Dungeon 4 for now. Just get the flippers and leave. So what happens after you complete Dungeon 4 is there's a ghost appears after you beat Dungeon 4. And it's a side quest, and you have to return the ghost to his house, then you return him to his grave in order for him to leave you alone. While the ghost is near you, you can't actually enter Dungeon 5. So we found out that if you... And the ghost only appears until after you complete Dungeon 4. So we found out that if you save Dungeon 4 for the very end of the game, you don't have to do that ghost side quest. And that's a very, very old piece of routing. That was discovered in like 2006, but I think it saves around 5 or 6 minutes. Oh yeah, I apologize, I was talking during the song. So we say hi to Marin, then we say bye to Marin. And if you use the feather while underwater, you kind of jump under the water. So I mashed feather here because it makes me move slightly faster. Now we're in Dungeon 5. Hopefully we'll get Piece of Power in Dungeon 5 in a reasonable spot. We have not yet. That's fine. So 5th, 7, so I need to kill 11 extra enemies, which will manipulate for the next dungeon. That's kind of a lot of enemies. So upcoming we have a mini boss that's really stupid because we need to fight him 4 times. First time you fight him, it takes 2 bombs or 3 bombs to finish. Second and third time you fight him, it takes 2 bombs. Last time it takes 3. So there's the 2-bomb kill. And then you want to pause when doors are opening, because the doors finish opening during that during the lag of the pause menu. So, 5 kills. A little damage boost. If I get hit 3 times, I lose a piece of power, so I've been hit twice. So I need to play it kind of safely now. And there's a minor sequence break. Normally we're supposed to have the hook shot to get across that gap, you hook shot and get the bridge out. But if you just do a very well positioned jump and time it with your dash, and that piece of power helps a lot too. You can skip all of that. So we save getting the hookshot until right now, because that just makes more sense routing wise. I need to wait for that enemy to clear. I'm at 6 of 11 kills, which is very low. Alright. 7 plus 4 is 11, kill 2, then 3, which made 5. And that was 6, so I'm actually 6 of 11, so I need 5 more kills to manipulate for Dungeon 6, and Dungeon 6 piece of power is actually probably the most important one. Seven, 8, 9. Let's keep it at 10 for safety. If you go over, that's bad news bears. Actually, this is Legacy, I can't waste arrows. Okay, well, I guess I had to don't get that extra kill I wanted anyways. So I'm gonna do something that most people don't do in this category, in any category that has a piece of power. Got a strange glitch there. If you fall while doing the hook shot, strange things happen. That's the best way to put it. So I'm gonna fight this boss with piece of power, which makes the game a lot harder because you get to stagger out your hits a lot more. This boss is complete RNG, which hole he pops out of, so I can only cover 1/2 of the room at a time. And he's not working with me. He has equal probability to pop out of any hole. So most people just drop their piece of power, they just take a third hit somewhere. I don't, because it saves about 2 seconds. That was the boss. And again, we're going to be mashing jump underwater to move slightly faster. Unfortunately, my mashing abilities are not very good. Oh, got lucky there. That's unfortunate. We needed actually another kill in that room, but that's okay. I call all screens rooms for some reason. So certain statues turn alive when you touch them, so if I just walk right by them or use my shield, they don't turn alive. So now we have a very tough trick coming up called bootstraps. And I got it. This is where you'd give me the golf clap. So fighting that boss the regular way is 6 seconds slower than the way I just did it right now. make sure I have all my equips correct. A very minor unintended route. Now we're in Dungeon 6. Dungeon 6 is where things get very different than all the other categories, because we have to pretty much play this dungeon the way it's intended. I hope you guys like the Piece of Power music, because we should be hearing a lot of it. Get that out. Poke the mold worm. There's a spare arrow under that, one of the pots in a different room. I should have picked it up, but that's okay. Let's see, we do this, drop the bomb right there, knock him into it. If people haven't played this game, for people who haven't played this game, the ocarina in the menu is it's bothersome. Whenever you highlight it, a sub-menu pops up and it lags out the game, and then whenever you move away from the ocarina, after you do that sub-menu, the game is still kind of lagging out. So you have to avoid highlighting the ocarina at all costs. Unless you actually need the item. Like right there, that was bad. We don't do that there. I got my 100% and my legacy percent routes confused for a second. Gonna fight that mini boss. Bow out. Right about there. Make sure I have my items set up to the right item slots. So in this route, in this speedrun, we used Mambo's Mambo to warp us back to the beginning of dungeons a lot. That takes the place of save and quit in other categories. The difference between the two is about 7 or 8 seconds. Upcoming, we have another RNG section. After we get through this stupid tower room, which there's no way to speed up, you just kind of have to sit there, wait for it to end. Much like the speedrun. So right here, horse heads, these guys are complete RNG. They need to land on facing up or standing up, and each one has a 50% chance of landing standing up. So it's a 25% chance to clear the room each time you throw them. Then if we play the Ballad of the Windfisher, it kills these guys because the Foal's voice hate loud noises. That's okay though. Unfortunately, with this fight, we need to kill them both before we can proceed. This chest is the only chest in the game you can open by throwing a pot at it. That's actually how you're supposed to open the chest. If you walk up to it and push A, it won't work. That's what the owl statue tells you. I don't know why they put that in the game, but there you go. Then we have the Dungeon 6 boss, who still has a hitbox, even though we haven't seen him yet. So you want to hit him 3 times before he starts talking. And then we need to bomb him twice more. That chest ruined my life. And then that's Dungeon 6. And then this is everyone's favorite instrument, the choral triangle. It tries so hard to fit in with the rest of the ensemble. It thinks it's a real instrument. I don't know why I switched that to song 1, doesn't matter. More funky movement. You can actually charge the boots, pick up an item, and then finish up the charge right after you throw the item. Now it goes to the signpost maze, which is annoying. If you read a sign twice, you have to start over. Oops, almost fell in a hole, which would be unfortunate. I like the signpost maze in the US version because the signs are all in caps, which kind of intimidates me a little bit. Well, I appreciate the sentiment, Rez. Oh, that's okay. If you read the last sign twice, it doesn't hurt you. And then we get the best song in the game. And I won't speak at all during it.